Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager here at Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, October 1st, 4:44 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. And before I start, if you guys like the videos, drop it a like. And always, if you leave a comment, we respond to all of those. So, right into it. Market state still in an uptrend. And if we look over here at the trend gauge, still four coveted green arrows. Mild volatility today, but trend remains up. Take a look at the final numbers: 21 over 21, down 70 basis points. 6 green, 1 flat, 14 red. Big 8 down 1.23%. RG8 down 1.25%. S&P 500 down 73 basis points. RSP down 0.53. QQQ down 1.39%. Equal weight down 1.16%. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.38%. Midcaps down 0.82%. Russell 2000 minus 1.36%. 60/40 stock and bond down 0.52%. And then in-house GROTECTION down 1.56%. So let's get into the interasset correlation and see what happened today. So first, starting with the chart of the S&P 500, and there was a lot of volatility today, and basically this breakout level, which coincides right around the 21, didn't quite touch it intraday, but it's simple: good above, bad below the line, and we held that for now, so that's positive. You'll look, open was high day right off the bat, had some violent selling, war escalations picked up, put in a double bottom here intraday, rallied, and then closed mid-range. If you look at the 60-minute, still holding this range, and this is a consolidation. So testing support isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we don't want to lose that key level that we've been highlighting. RSP acting fine. Just a tight day, down 0.53%. QQQ a little bit more ominous. Obviously, this was a cup and handle pivot here, rejecting here, but given the move from 448 all the way up into this almost 500, this index is fine to rest. That's a pretty decent move. So pulling back to the 21. Want to see if this needs to hold the 50-day as well, but overall, it's acting fine. And now it rejected here. So if it puts in a couple tight days, would set it up for higher through here. Dow Jones strong, good above this line, bad below, but continues trend higher. Mid caps pausing an obvious resistance, kind of a triple top here, and another had a huge move off this 200-day. So coming back in, some consolidation, some backfill action, higher lows would in a couple days would set this up for a cleaner breakout. Russell 2000, similar thing. Obviously more relative weakness today, but overall it looks fine, and it's just fallen through at a resistance level after a big, 6, 7 day push up the right side and pretty V-shaped pattern as well. So want to see the 50-day hold here and want to see this reclaim 2200 as well. The VIX. So this is going to be really important to keep an eye on here. So we got that spike in volatility today, and 20 is kind of like the risk on, risk off spot. And once it gets in, 20 is like kind of a ceiling a little bit for VIX. So it has been in the past, you can see. And if it's and 15 is kind of this floor. So as long as it can stay under 20, that should be indicative of higher for the market. But if this starts to get back above 20, it should expect a lot of volatility and for the market to be more bearish. But as long as it can reject 20, and would love to see this come back into 18 and get back into the 16s. But keep an eye on this. There's a lot going on geopolitically, and this will move off that. The dollar. So we've been talking about this for a while. This 100 spot has been big support, and from fast moves come fast moves. So even last Friday, this should have tanked on the inflation report, but it didn't, and it undercut and then reclaimed. And today's a huge change in character. This closed above the 21, EMA for the first time in weeks, if not months, and that could mark a short-term trend change. Longer term trend it's down, but short-term wise, and the positioning on the dollar is very short, so a lot of people are one-sided bearish this, and just keep an eye on this. If this starts to rally hard, that likely affects equities. And something interesting is we look at gold here, it was unbothered from the dollar strength today, and largely that was due to the war escalations. But something to watch if the dollar continues higher, likely spills into gold. GDX, gold stocks, similar, just kind of bouncing back. Silver setting up pretty nicely here, right under these highs. If it, a tight day or higher lows here below this breakout spot could set up for a breakout, and weekly looks good in this base. Bitcoin, just with small caps getting hit today and some more risk on, this kind of broke this frozen rope trend line that it's had, and it's coming back into the 15, 21 day. So we'll see how it acts there. Bonds just kind of, hanging out at the 21. Same thing here. And then, could argue you're getting a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders bottom here. So something to keep an eye out there. So let's get into the tail of the tape. So notable things, you can pause this. I'll just cover the highlights. So news today, obviously jolts at 10 a.m. and then the war escalations, Iran launching missiles at Israel, and then Tesla delivery numbers tomorrow. Keep an eye on that. And then today's keys, S&P held that breakout support we've been watching. The QQQ fouled at that cup and handle pivot. And real quick, so we're going to be watching those two things again tomorrow. And then also what I just mentioned, watch the dollar versus the 21 that continues to gain momentum, could affect equities. And then let's see, day count down one day, first close below the 8 and 14 days, but still holding above the 21 day. Expectations positive. And then sectors wise, China continues to be extremely strong. Oil services, uranium, energy, gold strong today. Weakness, regional banks, Bitcoin, retail, biotech. In-house, we sold TNA as just on that weakness, as well as QLD and First Solar, and then sold one half of Nvidia, Tesla, Uber, and then trimmed a little bit of UPRO as well. So basically the bottom line for today is war-induced volatility, but S&P 500 holds key breakout level. And I'll get back into the charts and we'll cover some of these things today. So go over some of the things in-house. First Solar, just no momentum here at this 250 pivot and coming back in. Uber as well, kind of, fouled at the 74.48 pivot, coming back in. Tesla, little bit of a trim into delivery numbers, but strong trend here. So we'll see how that one reacts tomorrow. And let's take a look at 21 over 21. C Limited, super strong. This one's a clear leader and has a bit of that, with China strong, this is helping. And these estimates and earnings are no joke here. CEG, arguably one of the strongest stocks in the market right now. No give back after that earnings gap and forming this really tight flag here off the 8. Zillow trying to put a bullish engulfing here off 21. GEV again in that same alternative energy group and just pure strength. After a huge move like this, you'd imagine a shake or a little bit more of a pullback, but no, this is holding the 8 and not pulling back at all. Strauss Farmers Markets, nice trender. Home builders look great still here as well. Axon, extremely tight into this 400 psych level, so we'll see, but has that military angle as well. And then take a look at some of the weak ones. NVIDIA, keep an eye on this one. This is just in a big kind of triangle, and there's two ways you can look at this. This is building lower highs here, but then again, it is building higher lows here, and you have all this cluster of moving averages. So really, it's getting tight in this triangle, pennant, whatever you want to call it, really. But just this is key thing to watch for for the AI trade and the leader in semis. MSTR pulling back after pretty normal Bitcoin pulling back 150. Would like to see this hold on any pullback. IoT starting to pull back into 21. This could be an opportunity after this earnings gap and see if it can U-turn off there. Palantir again just pulling back a little bit. Oracle was getting really tight, but still looks constructive. Still building higher lows here. VRT again, this one is really nice. If it can handle out here, had that nice deep, like a pretty big deep cup here. And so a handle would be nice to see on this one. Set it up for higher. And then Tesla, which I mentioned, and just covered some things. The Israel and Iran news, military, aerospace, and defense stocks are really breaking out. Lockheed Martin here, Northrop Grumman, RTX, all these are breaking out, and you can look at ITA, new highs. And then worth mentioning, just China continues to be extremely strong. The liquid names, BABA, just up 6% today. Futu, again, another higher high. JD as well. This is another one. And then you can look at the indexes, KWEB. So really, I mean, this is where a lot of some of the strongest stocks in the market and where a lot of money has been flowing as of lately. And then we can look at, with the war headlines, oil's going to get bid a little bit. Here's USO. Look at oil services, and then XOM is about the best one that I can find above key moving averages and knocking on the door through this base weekly. Looks pretty good. So keep these on a watch, and then even Oxy. This is we'll see this, Buffett has a big one here, but obviously has been lagging. And then CVX is another one. Can argue this is coming out of an inverse head and shoulders bottoming pattern, but we'll see. If it continues to escalate, these might get bid further. And yeah, so let's look back at the S&P again, like those keys I mentioned. Keep an eye on this breakout level, coincides with the 21. And as long as that holds, we're still bullish and no reason to turn. And yeah, so that is going to wrap it for tonight. We always like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com, and you can reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH. That is 855-732-5932. If you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Tuesday, October 1st. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening. Have a good rest of your night.